Welcome to the Business Spotlight Podcast. My name is Kay Cote, and I'm your host for today's episode. And today on the show, I have Nick Carlin, founder and CEO of Carlin Wealth Management Group and founder of Empowered Cafe, as my guest. We're going to be learning about his businesses, his journey to business ownership, best practices he's learned along the way, as well as challenges that he may have faced to give you that inside look to what it's like to build and operate a business. Welcome, Nick. So great to meet you. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Kay. Nice to be here.
Wonderful. Well, before we dive into all things business, I'd love to learn a little bit about you. So feel free to share a bit about yourself.
Sure. well, uh, to know a little bit about me is sort of where I came from, my background and my family. So, um, I've been living here in Austin for 15 years, and or thereabouts. And the reason that I'm here is ultimately because of my wife, who is from Colombia, and we met living in France when we both finished college, and and first lived up in Boston, where I'm from, but she never really liked the weather uh, or the coldness of the culture either. So we decided to moved somewhere a bit warmer on both fronts and landed in Austin. Been extremely happy ever since, or not ever since, but with the change. And and so that's how I ended up in Austin. And then getting back to the family is extremely important to me. So my oldest son Pablo has Down syndrome. He's a junior in high school now. And then we have a younger son, Marco, who is 13 and in eighth grade. And so those are, they're the most important things in my life.
Oh, I love that. Well, thank you for sharing about your family and just a little bit about your background. And so, very excited to dive into this conversation. And so, you mentioned to me before we got on the call that you have two businesses that you're a part of, which I'd love to dive into. Maybe we start with the wealth management and kind of go into what you're building uh, along with that.
Certainly. So I've been building my practice and my business for 21 years. I started um, in 2004 as a financial advisor, and we'll talk more about getting that going. But that was a lot of work. And 2 years ago, I took my practice and I moved it to build my own business, Carlin Wealth Management Group. And so that was 2 years ago that we became fully independent in our own business. Um, and so what we do is really take care of our client families and really taking care of all their financial needs, decisions, investments, and making sure they're making good decisions um, to put themselves in the best place possible.
That's really great. Well, I love to hear that you know, started your own thing and took that in that direction. So what stemmed that? What inspired you to start your own business?
Sure. Well, honestly, I've been thinking about it for a very long time before we made the change from working under a firm to being our own. But really, the driving force behind that was control, and then also leveraging this primary business to create the secondary business I told you about, Empowered Cafe. As I mentioned, my older son has Down syndrome, and I'm heavily involved in that community. And I wanted to use my business to do more than just help my clients. I wanted to leverage it to also help that community. So Empowered Cafe will hopefully do that, being a place that will employ people with Down syndrome.
That is such a great mission. I absolutely love that you're working on that. And so kind of taking it back to the wealth company.
hmm
What are you like, what's your current ownership structure? Are you the sole owner? Are there partners involved? What's that look like for you?
Yeah. So I am the sole owner, mostly. So I structured the ownership primarily to myself, but I also have um, a vesting uh, ownership for my director of operations, who has a 10% ownership stake that will vest. And so, but otherwise, I am the controlling and only owner.
Okay, wonderful. And looking at your employees, how many employees do you currently have, and are you looking to expand?
Yeah, so we currently have, including myself, four people on the team in Carlin Wealth Management Group. So my director of operations, myself is the lead advisor. We have a paraplanner and a client service and receptionist.
Okay.
We do think about expanding. As I mentioned, originally I'm from Boston and we have a lot of clients up there. So we are thinking about a permanent presence there and potentially bringing someone on board to be there all the time. And then, always looking to do the best service we can for clients. So that means continuing to grow our team to take care of them. So probably additional staff here as well eventually.
Oh, definitely. Well, that's really cool to hear that you're looking at that direction. And look, you mentioned your clients, so I'd like to learn about your clients. Who's your ideal client?
Sure. So we work with a few different types of people generally. So a, a good amount of our clients are either recently retired or on the precipice of retirement. Um, and so, we're helping them think about what they need during retirement and how they'll create their income stream, which is a very different thing than earning a paycheck. And so, we help them with that. On the other types of clients that we have, typically our working clients are either in technology, working for tech companies, having equity to manage and savings. We also have a good amount of clients that are small business owners as well, and thinking about how to leverage that for their wealth growth needs, and then also college professors. So we have a fair amount of professors both here in Austin, but also back in Boston at some of the universities there. And then the group that I really like to help that is not a majority of our clients, but that I just find the most satisfaction in is helping families that have members with special needs. Again, going back to that being a big part of what drives my family, and then also some of the other things I'm trying to do.
Mm. Oh, thank you so much for sharing about your customers, your clients. And currently, how are you doing your marketing to find your clients?
Sure. So we do a few different things. I mean, the biggest source of new clients is really through existing clients. So referrals, recommendations. We'll do different client events throughout the year, and clients will bring friends or family for introductions to those sorts of things. We're also we've also put a message on NPR and the BBC here in Austin, which we have got some feedback on as well. And then we do have a newsletter and some things, going through LinkedIn and places like that periodically create an introduction.
Definitely. And as business owners, I like to share the transparency of what it's like to be a business owner and some of the challenges that come with that. So, in your last 2 years, what is something you were challenged with that you overcame, and how did you do it?
Sure. Well, I mean, the biggest challenge was moving from our old firm to our new one, and some of the legal hurdles the old firm put up for us. And honestly, it was the first month. I think I probably slept like 10 hours. Um, and it was extremely stressful. Um, and so, that still certainly sticks in my mind as the largest challenge. And then, I think owning a business and just feeling commitment to the people we're helping. Um, I'm not in my office all the time, but I would say I am working all the time. That there is no time that I am not cognizant or responding or seeing messages that I need to be thinking about or thinking about strategies for clients. It's pretty much sort of a all waking hours, something that I have to be working on.
That is so true as a business owner. And kind of what does your daily structure look like? Are you mostly working in the business or on the business, or is there a blend of both?
Sure. Right now I am the only practitioner, so I'm the only one who sees clients. And so that is obviously a focus of what I'm trying to do when I'm in the office. Most of my time is spent meeting with clients or connecting with clients. And then when I'm outside the office is when I'm also thinking about the broader strategy of things that we're doing research and and trying to build the business. So both, yeah.
And how, like, are you looking to bring on another person to also see clients at all, or do you want to keep it solely you, or how does the future of that look for you?
Yeah, it is something I think about. And I'm not really sure, honestly. But the person I mentioned potentially being a permanent presence in Boston could be someone that would help us. Not necessarily with the clients we have now, but maybe new clients that we're taking on. Um, and and so that's always a hard question. And um, and finding the right person that would fit what we want to present to our clients and how we want to take care of them is always a challenge. So I would say I'm open to the idea, but I have not moved forward thinking that's something I definitely want to do.
Okay. Yeah, that's it, hiring can be daunting because you're like, oh, I want to bring on the right person. Are there any things that you're thinking about or maybe have implemented to structure maybe a possible hiring process in the future?
Well, I mean, we hire all the time for staff, but
Mm.
hiring another advisor uh, um, is hard for me primarily because I feel like someone that's going to be in this role should be like me who doesn't want to work for someone else. But I've come to realize that not a lot of people think the way that I do, and some people are actually happy to work for other people. But it's just hard for me to wrap my head around someone wanting the role that I have, but not wanting to have full control. So
Mhm.
that's the thing I struggle with.
Yes, I think the word for that is looking for an intrapreneur. So someone who has that drive and determination, but enjoys being under a company and the what that provides. So that they do exist out there. It's
Mhm.
finding them is the is the part. So
Yeah.
looking ahead at say the next 2 to 3 years, do you have any goals that you're striving for within those 2 to 3 years?
Yeah. We do for sure. So a big one that we were working towards that we should be hitting this year was one getting into the new office and also crossing 250 million of client assets. We set that as a goal 2 years ago when we started, and so it looks like we should be hitting that this year. And so now it's starting to think about where we want to go in 3 to 5 years. So I think my goal would be to continue that sort of trajectory And in 5 years, I would like to be at least at 500 million, if not shooting for the moon at 1 billion. But with that in mind, um, I probably would have to come to grips with adding additional advisor capacity beyond myself. So I would say, in an ideal world, our goal is to have another person working as an advisor in the team, and continuing the level of growth that we've seen, to get to the point we're at now.
Definitely. And moving in this direction, are there any challenges that you're currently facing as you're establishing, growing, taking on the new location with the cafe? What is something you're challenged with currently?
Yeah, well, it's really, managing my brain. There's a lot to do, and making sure that I take care of the primary things that are most important. So my family and also my clients, but then how do we also, there's a ton of decisions to be made around the new office and the updates that we're doing now. So I feel like that is hard, but I'm getting pretty good at delegating decisions that I don't need to make. So it's never super easy, but I'm definitely feel like I'm improving at that.
That delegation is one of those things, especially for business owners, that is so important to be able to do. And growing in that way, I'm the same way in my business. I'm like, oh, how can I delegate this? And it does end up like freeing up brain space a lot. So that's really cool that you're looking at that direction.
Yeah.
Well, now I'd like to take us through a fun part of the Q&A called our rapid fire questions. I'm going to be asking
Okay.
you 4 questions, and the goal is just answer very top of mind, first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
All right. Question number 1 is, what is a key to success for you?
Uh, for me, I think the keys to success, well, I think in general, but for me is just perseverance and persistence. That has been how I got where my business is today, which I think is in a good spot, and it's just not giving up, basically.
Mhm. Definitely. That's a great answer and so true. Number 2 is, what is a piece of advice you have for other business owners?
Sure. Well, again, it's just that. So if you have something in mind and you think it can be successful, is really, to drive through the adversity, because there will be adversity, there will be challenges, there will be things that make you want to not do it. But if you have faith in what that objective is or that vision, then it's really just, muscling through that stuff.
Definitely. Number 3 is, it could be a book, a podcast, an article, just anything that has resonated with you recently.
Sure. I recently read an interesting book about business ownership called "Walking to Destiny." It's about growing a business and using that business to create wealth, um, for for the creator of the business. So it did resonate with me, and for me, the view of that wealth is not necessarily financial wealth, but a wealth of purpose too. So it can represent lots of different things.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. And our final question, the rapid fire, is, if you had a magic wand and you could rapidly improve one aspect of your business, what would it be?
What would it be? I don't. My magic wand would be creating more hours in the day. There's only so much I can do, and having more time to do it all would be wonderful. But that would be a magic
That
wand.
would be. That actually inspires another question I'm going to ask, which is, if somebody, like, if you were given 10 extra hours in your week, what would you do with them?
Oh, that is a good question. Um, if I had 10 extra hours in my week, honestly, I would want to spend more time with my kids, a couple of hours, but um, I would also, focus on more activities to connect with clients and meet people that are important to them so that I can try to help them too.
Those are both great answers. Well, thanks for answering that like random fifth rapid fire. That worked out really great. So before we wrap up with our final question for today, how can folks get connected with you and your business online?
Sure. So we do have a website, and that's always an easy one. So that is carlinwealthmanagementgroup.com. It's also carlinwmg.com. So either will get you to us. Um, and that's, an easy way. LinkedIn also works pretty well. So I can be searched, our business can be searched. So Nicholas Carlin or Carlin Wealth Management Group. And connecting through there is always useful too and pretty easy. So any of those are probably the simplest and easiest ways.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing that, Nick. For our final question, what is most inspiring to you today?
What is most inspiring to me? Um, Honestly, it's just it's seeing people do things that you just didn't think that they could, or that they didn't think that they could. So for me, again, being involved in the Down syndrome community, um, there are several people that we know that are older than my son that have recently finished college and they're working full time at a school, for example, as a teacher, a preschool teacher. And, just seeing that happen is it's very inspiring for me. People, you know, out doing more than the expectations put upon them, and I think that's great.
Well, that's very inspiring to me too. And thank you so much for coming on the show, sharing your story. And I wish you all the luck with all of your endeavors to come.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.